Good morning, students. I, Dr. Sarika Gautam, welcome you all in today's session on Logbook 1. I would request you all to write your queries in the chat box. I am aware that this is very first session regarding Logbook course. So, Logbook is a practical training course. The Logbook course carries 100 marks, which is of 4 credits. There are three kind of submission for this course, which is Logbook 1, Logbook 2, and logbook 3 means department specific report. So logbook 1 report carries 30 marks and the timeline is 15th of July. We are conducting this session on request of students very early as students as the program is a open and distance education and online program. So considering the flexibility at the students end. So once we conduct this session, so you students are free to start collecting data for that particular logbook course. Okay, so considering this session is scheduled. Okay, and today only we have emailed you authority letter. Authority letter is going to tell outsiders or other stakeholders that you are a bona fide student of Symbiosis School for Online and Digital Learning. And considering that authority letter, they will allow you to collect data and conduct your logbook in that particular hospital or organization. Okay, so logbook 1 is a continuous assessment. I hope in orientation program, we conveyed you regarding the continuous assessment and the term and assessment. So continuous assessment is a kind of internal assignment which student is submitting throughout the year. Okay, and term and assessment is a final term and examination. Okay, for logbook, there are only submissions as it is a practical based course. So we will not be conducting Viva for this course. This is a kind of a submission course. So logbook 1 and logbook 2 is a part of a continuous assessment, which in total carries 70 marks. So logbook 1 carries 30 marks and logbook 2 carries 40 marks. Okay, so the submission timelines are already available in your learner's handbook. The instructions to prepare logbook will be available in your LMS very shortly. Okay. And logbook department specific report is going to be your term and assessment. Okay. So your marks will be given on this submission only. There won't be any kind of examination or viva will be conducted for this. So this submission will be considered as a part of term and examination. No separate exam will be conducted. So I hope I'm clear till this slide. There are two kind of submission, continuous and term, and there won't be any examination for this. I will be, if you have any query, you may write your query in the chat box. Okay, I will be taking queries at the end. Okay, so we will talk about how to prepare logbook 1. So I would like to tell you that there will be 3 separate sessions on logbook 1, 2 and department specific report. So, okay, so you need not worry about the other preparation part. So for logbook 1, you are expected to visit at least 50 bedded hospital. Okay, so why we have kept 50 bedded hospital? Because 50 bedded hospital will have a maximum facilities available. There will be more flow of patient. So more activities will be happening in that particular hospital. So we have kept it is a minimum 50 bedded. Beyond 50 bedded, any number of bedded hospital you can select. Okay, and second is like you have to note down your observations. Okay, we have observed that the hospitals are more concerned that like you are going to tell their inside information to outside, right? So you have to convince them this is an academic submission. It is submitted to the university. It won't be used other than academic purpose. We won't be using or we won't be disclosing these details to other than our university. So you can convince them about this. Okay, and if at all they say you that like you need not mention this information, so they are more concerned about the reputation of the hospital. So sometimes you have to listen to their concern also. Okay, so now we will talk about how to what is to be written in the logbook one. So you have to write details about the hospital. So details about the hospital shall include like what type of hospital is that. So type of hospital means it is a multi-speciality hospital, it is a super specialty hospital, it is a cancer hospital, or it is a nursing home, or especially mother and child care hospital. Okay, so that way, what type of hospital is that? What is the location of that hospital? So location you may write nearby some landmark, or it is the heart of the city, or it is away from the city, right? It is situated nearby any rural place. Okay, that way. So you have to write the total area of that hospital. You may ask this information to the hospital authority. We don't want any exact information. This is just for like if it is 50-bedded hospital and the area is very small. So that way we want to know like how the hospital is functioning and how the details and the requirement is there. So bed strength, how many bedded it is, and what are the kind of services provided in that particular hospital. Okay, so first information, like first your heading will be about the hospital. So second is a circulation. So circulation in terms of circulation of internal traffic and the external traffic. And traffic, it means circulation of external traffic means patients or the visitors who are coming to avail the services, visitors who are coming to visit their admitted patients and they are going out, right? So, or anyone is coming for the investigation only, or any material is coming to the hospital, right? So that way it is an external traffic. And the internal traffic means like the transportation of patient from one department to other, transportation of like medicines, transportation of waste, transportation of personnel, transportation of like nurses, patient, uh, right, or the employees. So that way it is a internal traffic. So you will see about the movement of internal and the support services in the hospital. So that way you need to monitor about the internal traffic and the external traffic. You have to also see the entry and exit in the hospital. If it is a very huge hospital and that hospital is having same entry and exit, then there will be like the chaotic situation because the same from the same gate patient are coming in and coming out, right? So how the hospital is having, because having separate entry and exit gate will be also a security part, right? Because if like the number of entry or exit means like number of chances of getting uh, any threat to the hospital, right? Because you never know like who is coming to the hospital, and we cannot deny anyone coming to the hospital, right? So whoever is coming, we need to monitor like how many entry and exit gates are there for the patient and the staff. Second is like also especially entrance for the OPD department and the emergency department, right? How it is like there is a ramp available or not, right? So that way you will be observing. Okay, loading and unloading of goods. You are aware that like hospital day in day out or on frequent basis they receive goods from the vendor, right? So like is there any separate uh, entry like the for to receive the goods means like anyways the main entrance will shall remain the same for the hospital, but like is there any back door to receive the goods from that medicines, equipment, instrument from particular gate? Okay, so you have to ask that information also. What about the pathway for waste, right? So like from where we are taking the patient or the critical patient, and from that route only if we are um, our waste is traveled and going for the final disposal, then this is not, there are chances of like cross infection or the airborne infection, right? So how is there any separate timing for the disposal of or carrying the waste from one department to the final store, right? So that way you need to observe all these things. What about the availability of lift, availability of RAM, right? Or you will be observing all these uh, parameters, and like you have to see all, like for example, if in the hospital the visiting hours and the patient round and the dietary department and the housekeeping people and the traveling of waste, okay, these timings should not overlap, right? If at all these timings are overlap and the dietary person is coming and the waste is going travel to the center storage, right? So that is not a ideal time to carry waste, right? So there should be a separate time, usually the time wherein very less traffic or very less movement of patient visitors, right? So for doctors round also, there should be a specific time. During that time, other should not intervene or disrupt that round, right? So that way, you have to look for the circulation. Okay, so next is about parking. Like especially in the metro cities, like there is a main problem of parking, right? So you have to see like how the parking facilities available. If at all it is in the heart of city or in the very much crowded area, how they are managing, whether they have outsourced it at somewhere, or they are having a single or multi-level parking, right? So is there a separate parking for patient and visitors and the staff, right? They did not mix, right? Because staffs are coming here for like around 8 to 10 hours, right? For as per their shift, right? So based on that, there should be separate parking for staff and separate parking for the visitors and the patient. So next is the signages. Um, Okay, so as you're aware, this hospital environment is been designed, constructed, and managed to facilitate orientation, right? So patient should know from once he enters into the hospital, he should know from that reception area, like which department, where he needs to go, where are the registration, where are the may I help you desk, right? From the entrance, he should able to understand the orientation of the hospital. Orientation means to find one's way, to avoid obstacle which could cause hazards, and to know when one has reached that particular destination. Okay, so suitable provision should be made at the entrance of the building so that everyone should know like which department is located at what point. In hospital building, visuals, audible and tactile information should be provided. Okay, as per government guidelines, like bilingual signages should be available, right? So hospital itself should guide the patient visitor where he wants to go, the department where is located. So directories can be located or the map of that hospital. Here you are, and then the way it is available at the mall, right? This is the your location, and at right side these brands are there and left side these brands are there, right? So that way floor directory should be there, and where are the entry exit signs, right? Emergency exit signs. So that way the hospital should be labeled that way, signages should be put in that way that we need not ask details to any other person. So next is a green parameter. So green parameter is with a view to minimize the exhaustion of the natural resources. It is suggested to use the natural resources to minimize the exhaustion of the man-made resources. Means like which are limited, right? Electricity, petrol, right? So that way, what are the parameters are adapted by that hospital with a way to use of the maximum use of the natural resources, right? So lighting, indoor air quality, like the plant should be kept inside the hospital, indoor plants with a view to exchange of air between the plant and the hospital. So to increase the quality of the air. So about housekeeping, energy efficiency, efficient techniques have been adapted by some of the hospitals. Many hospitals are having solar energy, right? Many hospitals are using the water which is used in a flush or washroom. They are using that water to plant their gardens, right? So that way, you can effectively use the natural resources. So rainwater harvesting. So that way, if your hospital is having, you may write it in your report. If your hospital is like, there are some, we face that, like there are some students who are located very at remote place, right? So such kind of is not utilized there or not adapted, right? So you may mention not available. Okay. Next is a firefighting and fire safety measures. So the hospital has to be protected with the combination of systems, including fire extinguishers, fire sprinkler, first aid hose, drills, wet risers, right? Yard hydrants, and foam and dry powder systems. In many of the hospital, automatic sprinklers are to be installed in the false ceiling. Okay, so is there any provision for like the smoke detector or the fire detector? So a system, it is a system which compromising component and subsystems required for automatically detecting smoke, heat of fire, initiating an alarm, and other actions has been so based on that appropriate action can be taken. So fire evacuation plan should be in place in the hospital. Emergency evacuation routes that should be labeled, signage should be put in, provision of area of rescue, a refugee area uh, should be built in the hospital. It should be labeled so anyone should be aware about in the hospital. On frequent basis, mock drill should be conducted because many of the time, if, even though we are working in the hospital, we are not aware about like where are the emergency exist, like what to do, especially when there is a fire in the hospital or there is any bomb threat in the hospital, right? So that way, on frequent basis, mock drill to be conducted. Like especially the critical areas like the operation theater, intensive care, recovery rooms containing patient lacking self-preservation in case of emergency have been so smoke separated, right? So we talked about fire exit signs, right? So everything should be labeled properly, signages to be put in, and frequent mock drills to be conducted to make for the preparedness of that particular hospital and the staff. Next is the biomedical waste management. So please, you ensure that all the necessary steps are taken in the hospital to ensure biomedical waste is handled without any adverse effect to the human health or the environment as per biomedical waste management rule 2016, which has been revised in 2018. So you have to see whether all the healthcare workers or the other who are involved in handling the biomedical waste are given regular training, immunization against these diseases like the hepatitis B, tetanus, right? So you have to check like how frequently they are being vaccinated. So day-to-day basis, the biomedical waste management register is maintained or not. You have to see like the regularly how much kg of waste is generated in that hospital. So major accidents, including accidents caused by fire hazards or blast during the handling of biomedical waste are reported, right? Sometimes you have to see that also whether all the details are being reported and in such situation, what remedial action is being taken. Okay. So you have to see like the color codes are being practiced in that particular bag or not, whether they are being trained wherever the waste is generated, there only it should be segregated and treated that way. Okay, on-site treatment of waste, if possible, you have to practice that. Okay, so this is all related to the logbook one submission. Okay, so till the time. Okay, so let me summarize to it. So initially in the logbook one, you have to write the details, basic details about the hospital, how many bedded, how much area, and bed strength, then you will be writing about the circulation, entry, exit, circulation of internal traffic, circulation of external traffic. You have to also see the when the material has been received, whether when the loading and unloading is happening, whether they are maintaining register or not. Okay. So next is the parking facility, and you also see the signages. In signages part, I would like to mention that like under each heading, you may put in photographs of that hospital so that it will make your submission more interesting, more appealing. Okay, you may put in photographs. You may put in any bar, any pie chart, any graph, or anything which is appropriate to your submission. So fire. Safety measures, green parameters, and biomedical waste management. So this is all related to the common systems of the hospital. In the first part, we are just studying about the common systems of the hospital which are applicable to the entire hospital. Okay, so if you have any query, you may write your query in the chat box. Srishti ji, okay. Actually, it would be difficult because we have mentioned all the headings. You have to mention those heading, and under that you have to write this appropriate content. It should not happen that like as this submission carries 30 marks, so it should have a sufficient content so that you will score good marks. Okay, don't write 1 or 2 pages because it carries 30 marks. So allow evaluator to give you good marks. You should make your submission more detailed or more engaging, having more details, right? Appropriate details at least. Okay, if you have query, you may unmute and you may ask your question.
Yeah, I wanted to know, like you have written here in. Hello, can you hear me, Dr.
Yes,
Sarika?
Hinaji, yes. Yes, go ahead.
So, like under heading parking capacity, so we in the writing we write the capacity, how much capacity is there, and parking structure. I will just
Yes.
write how many levels are there and pay for patients,
So,
for doctors.
right. Correct, Hinaji. So I would tell you that like there are few headings which may have very less content, right? Because if you have to write parking, you will say yes or no. You will write whether there is a separate parking for staffs and visitors or the patient. Okay, you may write entry exit gates. You may put in 1 or 2 photograph. Okay, so that content may be of very less. That content may be of very less 1 or a half page because it is a that heading is very small, right? But other
Yes.
heading which is like biomedical waste management, fire safety, right?
Yeah.
Green parameters per se, we say that like it may have a very less content, right? But biomedical waste, there are some department. Yes, sorry.
No, I'm saying the method for collection and segregation, so we can write it like it's happening properly, or it is
Yes,
happening in
yes. Yes,
according
yes.
to allocation.
They are practicing the BMW 2016 and revised 2018 rules. You may write the staffs are being frequently trained about this, right? You can say that way also, whether the register is maintained or not, right? So if you may write example as any of the undue adverse event happened because of like biomedical waste management, any needle prick, right? Or any blast was there, right? So that way, how they have managed the situation, what the remedial actions been taken. So you may write that also because you will come to know like such what kind of incidents are happening in may happen in the hospital and what are the like remedial measures we can take.
Okay,
Yeah.
thank you.
Thank you. So these are my contact details. If you have any query, you can write to me. Today only we have emailed you authority letter. So if you have any query regarding that also, you can call us. So we will continue with the query session.